I was told to give my kids water instead of pop and juices and sugars, so I did, and it harmed my kids irreparably.
At that point, I have no idea how bad it's going to get. As you can tell from my speech, my brain fog is still pretty hard.
People need to see the parallels between the ongoing Flint water crisis, Project 2025, the government now, the world as we are, and the taking away of democracy and people's voices, making these choices about us, without us, and with no concern about our health, our lives, and our futures.
You can help build the only independent news outlet, always on the ground with the people, for as low as 16 cents a day.
Corporate media, they've been lying to us for years, and you're going straight to the people.
Flint, Michigan.
Brooklyn, New York.
Government sending one more you to the residents of Chicago.
We need as many independent voices as possible, and that's why what you guys do is so important.
Covering what the corporate media covers up.
How much are you guys still paying right now for water bills there?
Oh, my water bill, I just paid, $257. If I miss a month, they send me like a $570, $80, $90 shut-off notice every other month. So I have to pay like $250 a month. It is disgusting. And then buy my bottled water, yeah. And pay for my filters, pay for the shower head filters, which are extremely expensive and don't work on all the contaminants. So yeah, everything's coming out of my pocket, and you have to pay your water bill or else. Because again, they continue to try to put these tax liens on people's properties. This way, private investors and international investors can buy up our properties super cheap and not rent them out or sell them for affordable housing.
This is now a crisis. That's the age of a fifth grader. Like, there are teenagers walking around right now that were not born when this hit your life. So you've been speaking for Flint for so long. This time, could you speak for yourself? How has this devastated your family, yourself?
I was in my 30s when the Flint water crisis started, when they switched our water. I started having rashes, hair coming out in clumps. When I was taking care of my niece, if I set her in the tub, just red blisters all the way down. Then my son fell and broke his wrist. His bones crumbled. Lead replaces calcium in your bones. My kids have to go to physical therapy and have their joints and muscles pulled because their growth plates hardened prematurely because heavy metals get stored in them when they're young. And then I started having issues, and then cancers, and then seizures, and my kids started having memory loss, behavioral issues, immune issues. I had to start taking my children to rheumatologists and osteo specialists and therapy, psychiatrists, having to get tutors. My oldest was going into high school and he was in dual enrollment because they are so smart. Our kids are so strong and so smart. And he needed a tutor because he was failing his classes out of nowhere because he couldn't remember what he studied the night before. That's my fuel for fighting. Watching my kids struggle. Flint families, moms, grandparents, dads, we don't mess around. These are our kids, these are our futures, so we continue to fight.
But you have also been facing actual threats of violence for fighting this fight. Can you speak more to that?
Yeah, I mean, they've come to my house. They've tried to break into my house. They followed me with no license plates. Like, that's not obvious. I was in court a couple years ago, and they put a big old brand new screw in my tire. What the Trump administration is doing. They're saying, oh, well, these activists, these women, these elderly people, these children speaking out, they're criminals. And the thing is there's this us versus them. People do not think this can happen to them. They're like, well, I paid my water bill. This couldn't happen to me. Well, I paid mine. That's why my water was on and not shut off. And that's how we got poisoned. And, oh, I wouldn't give my kids brown, chunky water. Nobody did. It was the clear water that did it.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Here's the Flint.
Is your water clear? Is your water tested independently, not from the people who were responsible from it, and for all the contaminants? No. And again, this is just water, air, soil, all of it's been put up for profit for the highest bidder, and that highest bidder cares nothing about your safety. So call me what you will, fight back, pick on how I look, my appearance, pick on this, that. I don't care. What I care about is my community, my family, and yours.
If you had the best, highest quality water piped to you through this, would you drink it?
I've had to give up, like, my concerts, my bands. I had to give up my life, and I miss it. There's so many times I've wanted to give up. I'm tired. You know, I used to be called the metal lady because that's the kind of music I'm into, but now it's because of the contaminants in our water. And my kids worry about my safety. They text me constantly. They're growing up, young men, They're my babies right now, but they worry about me. My friends worry about me. People worry I won't come back if I'm traveling to go somewhere to speak. And we've had a lot of people like Charity Hicks. She was going to speak at the UN and was hit by a car that ran up on the sidewalk and killed her right before she did, talking about the water in Michigan. Access to safe, clean, affordable water and sanitation is a human right. It is. And they're treating it like a commodity. If you're too poor, you can't flush the toilet. But all the times I want to quit, I think about my neighbors who have had to melt snow to flush their toilets, who have had to melt snow to bathe, who have had their homes taken, had CPS threatened because they didn't have a source of running water in the home and they couldn't afford bottled water, to have their lives upended for something they didn't ask for and they didn't do. It is representative of everything we're going through as a world right now. You think it can't happen to you, but you have to wake up because it can. And then I realize I feel like I'm lucky because I know that my water is not safe and I know how to protect myself. Other people don't. They assume it's safe. They don't know. And they're being lied to and they're comfortable in their lives. So why would they upend that, right? We cannot be in our silos, fighting these data centers, fighting the water contamination, fighting the rolling back of all of these acts that were put into place, all so somebody can line their pockets a few billion more. And why are their lives more important than yours? So you get up. You fight back. You fight back in your way. Because if you don't, they're going to get away with it. And you're just going to be another number that's swept under the rug. And so at least what I remind myself is, hey, I can't fix everything. I know I can't. But if I can make their lives a little harder, make their cons a little harder, make them, the slaughter of innocent people a little more difficult, give them a little headache, maybe a stomach ache, that's something at least, right?
If you could talk to the teenagers who are now born not knowing Flint crisis exists, or the people who saw the news about Flint and were passionate about it while it was part of their fashion statement and now had completely fallen off the radar about Flint, could you speak about how it is now more than ever the most important thing to care about?
What happened in Flint and what is continuing to happen in Flint with the silencing of the people is happening everywhere. They got away with it in Flint, which is why they're able to get away with it now. So we have to put a stop to this. No, Flint is not over. The pipes are not replaced. They're blending our water. Our health is getting worse. Our houses are falling apart, sinking into the ground, pipes rupturing. Talk to us. Talk to the people that are actually living in Flint. If you ask, if somebody runs you over and the driver is the one that's getting asked, are you okay? Well, of course they're going to say you're fine, even if you're laying there bleeding on the ground. So when you ask the poisoners if everything's okay, of course they're going to say it's fine. So talk to the people who are actually laying on the ground. Talk to the people who are poisoned and who are living in it every day. And don't talk to the guilty parties, the responsible parties. Don't talk to the people profiting off of it. And don't talk to the responsible parties and ask them if we're okay, if they've stopped poisoning us, because, they're obviously not going to be honest. And unfortunately, that's what the media goes off of nowadays, especially with AI and everything just picking up and throwing out there, whatever. Talk to us. We're humans, and so are you. And we have amazing insight and experience, and the fighting spirit of Flint is amazing. I mean, that is what we do. We do not stop fighting. And we can help you organize, because guess what? If it's not already happening to you, it's gonna. And it's going to go everywhere. And right now, all of the guardrails, all of the protections are getting completely gutted. So you're next.